Rochelle Becker, Alliance for Nuclear Responsibility. I had a written statement, but I'm actually going to go off topic because of what I've listened to tonight. I want to start out by the topic of loss. You talk about we're going to be losing this plant and we have yet 9 years to plan. I want you to remind you that the joint proposal says the plant will no longer operate no later than 2025. This plant could close sooner. So if you're expecting to have 9 years, you could have a little surprise before your 9 years, and you better be preparing now. You talk about verification. Verification at Songs didn't necessarily work for their steam generator project. The NRC has let California down more than once when it comes to carefully watching what is happening. You didn't carefully find a seismic site before the plant was built. You didn't carefully find the problems with San Onofre. And when you don't carefully find something, I'll tell you who pays for it. It's not the NRC, it's ratepayers. You talked about PG&E collecting a lot of money for decommissioning. It is ratepayers who have paid that money for decommissioning. Decommissioning will also include the community projects and employee retention. So it's not just going to decommission this plant. You have to think about all these things. Many of the questions here tonight related to what's going to happen at the Public Utilities Commission have nothing to do with the NRC. I'd like to encourage people, rather than saying the PUC is here to tell you what's going on, the PUC is really coming on September 14th to listen to this community. And I have to tell you, it is very important for you to be there. The community mitigation funds are not necessarily a done deal. The employee retention project is not necessarily a done deal. It is vital that this community show up on the 14th. It is nice to have you here today, and I love having Congressman Carbajal here. Thank you very much. But the NRC has no place at the moment. We have to figure out what the state's doing. And the state is where it starts. And so the 14th is your important meeting, not necessarily the meeting tonight, although I thank you for it. Also, you talked about spent fuel and where it might be, and you've got a couple of petitions that have gone in or applications that have gone in. Last I heard, this was supposed to be a consent-based project, and I'm not sure you have the consent of those states. You may have consent of those facilities, but I am not sure you have the consent of those states. So while I'm saying it's nice to have the federals here, there is so much more to be involved. The Energy Commission has to make decisions. The Coastal Commission has to make decisions. The Air Board has to make decisions. The State Lands Commission has to make a decision and do a full EIR. And the PUC has to decide how much money we're going to be paying for this. So I urge you, PG&E and the joint parties have done their best to put together something that will work 9 years and or less. But without the PUC's approval, this is going nowhere. So I urge the community and everyone in this room to make sure they're there on the 14th to make sure the PUC, who's in charge of this project, does what we need. Thank you very much.
Thank you.